once again for being here today. This is I want to hear special because, you know, we don't like that word in Course in Miracles. So we will say, it's a very holy day, as all our days are. But we have a wonderful guest with us today, and she's very well known in the Course in Miracles community in Europe, especially in Spain. She lives on a tiny resort island called Ibiza that is right off the coast of Barcelona. I mean, can it be any better than that, Barcelona? And she organizes and runs a spiritual A Course in Miracles festival there every year called the Ibiza Festival of Light. And they've had 4, right? And you're doing your 5th. And these are an 8-day festival. It's a long festival that has between around 150 people or something like that, like 150 people, all living and working and teaching together for 8 days. So I mean, I think about the 8 days, and then I have to have a couple days in Barcelona. I can't go to Barcelona. That's like a 2-week trip, but a 2-week vacation. Think about it, 2-week vacation in Barcelona and Ibiza. That would be wonderful. So we will for sure be letting everybody know when the next one is, and you know, a trip to Spain, a trip to Barcelona, 2 weeks. Wow, woohoo! I think it's a good deal. It's a good deal. So keep that in mind. So she, I don't think has done too much here speaking in the United States before, right?
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
I was invited by David Hoffmeister and the Messengers.
Okay. So we're just really honored and happy to have her. We're very grateful that One Mind Foundation and Doug Fishman and Cheryl called me, talked to me, and explained what was going on, and so we're very happy to have her. So let's give a nice round of applause for our guest speaker today, Carolina Corada.
Thank you. This is so exciting for me. I'm very happy and honored. This trip here, me being here, is a huge miracle. I was asked while I was in Ibiza. Actually, I'm in the middle of a tour in Mexico. And I mentioned to Doug Fishman that I was coming to Mexico, and then I would go to New York if he would like me to meet him personally, because we didn't know each other personally. And he said yes. And then I told him, I've had this inner calling to making a donation for the Foundation for Inner Peace. And he said, okay, cool, we'll see how that works out. And this is how it's worked out. So I'm here in San Francisco in the weekend, just for the weekend. And I've come here specially brought by the One Mind Foundation. They've covered my cost, my flight cost, and Reverend Tony has had the gentleness of inviting me to be here and staying at his home and joining with you guys today and with them and the foundation. And this afternoon we'll have a workshop to raise funds for the foundation. All the proceeds will go to them. So I'm so honored. And then I'm even given a chance to talk here for 20 minutes. So thank you so much. And well, the topic that is moving my heart these days, and it's a topic that I've been teaching in Mexico a lot, and I'm very interested in it. It's part of the reading that you have in the program, and it's about releasing the obstacles to the awareness of consciousness. And well, I'm just going to reread a little bit from this because it kind of sets the mood for me. And it says in the second paragraph, it says, watch your mind carefully for any beliefs that hinder the accomplishment. For me, the accomplishment is simply the restoration of the memory of God in my heart, in my mind. And for me, I don't know where the heart is, where the mind is. It's not in a physical place. It's just an experience of myself. So how vigilant can I be? And I'm committed to being 100% vigilant. And for this, this for me entails the release of the obstacles in my mind. Like the opening page in the Course says, we're not seeking to learn what love is, but yes, relinquish the obstacles that hinder the experience of love that is our natural inheritance. And from my own experience as a student and teacher, judgment is the obstacle. And it comes through in many ways. Judgment comes through not only as a thought, but also as a human experience of the senses. And then I just want to call upon your vigilance and your observation. Observe how the ego uses every single aspect of your humanity to separate you from your mother, from your brother. Your mother too, but to separate you from your brother. Sometimes, you look at something and you make a judgment. This would be the easy identification, yes? I say, oh, this is beautiful. This is a judgment also. If you thought this is ugly and stinky, this would also be a judgment. A judgment is an adjective with a value, an opinion or preference. It doesn't matter if it's beautiful or ugly, because as Course in Miracles students, we've already understood that one thought sustains the other one. It's like the both sides of a coin. One side says, beautiful. Oh, I'm not judging. Oh, yeah, there's a judgment there. Would I be willing to relinquish just my opinion? What if I just walked in here and I was just in awe? With a carpet, without a carpet, with a plant, without a plant, with a candle, without a candle. This would be the initial vigilance, what you see. And then what happens with this judgmental, how could I call this, apparatus, the hearing. Oh, that's so squeaky. Or, so much noise, I can't be at peace. Or observe how the second important sense of the human body, of the humanity that we walk around with, would be your hearing. And then you can see this clearly. Would I be willing to, and this I do every day, I'm sensitive. This character is. So I surrender to God. I surrender to you my senses. How about the hearing? Would I be bothered by a noise while I sleep? Would a crying baby right in front of me on an airplane disturb my inner peace? Just take a look at that. And we think, oh, but that's normal. He's crying. No, it's not normal. Normal is peace of mind. For me, this is what I truly believe. This is our normality, peace of mind. Anything that hinders that requires our vigilance and relinquishment. So, what do I hear? Right. For me, it's my practice. I look at everything and surrender to the Holy Spirit. This movement is just a symbol because we know that it's not out there. It's just within us. But I surrender my value of my hearing ability. Beautiful music. Oh, I know so much about music, which I do, in fact. But I can let that go. I can let that go. I do not want that to be the judgment over my inner peace. And then I go into this one. Oh, I can't work in... Some people have told me I can't work at homes because old people stink. I've had this. I've done a lot of volunteering. I like volunteering. So what's the difference between a baby and a person in an old folks' home? They don't smell the same, right? One is nicer than the other one, right? Well, no, you're not right. You're judging. So you got to be vigilant to that too. Open up to that vigilance. It's not just, oh, what am I thinking? Oh, what am I smelling? And I'm going to share a short experience with you guys. I was working in Venezuela before I came to live in Europe. This was maybe in the early 2000s, about 2004, 2005. And I was working at a rehab center. I was donating sessions, Course in Miracles sessions there. In fact, the Foundation for Inner Peace donated books because we sent letters, handwritten letters by the inmates, and they sent us the books. So thank you for that. And we were working there. And I had invited a teacher to come along with me because I was going to teach a big group in wheelchairs and just lots of handicapped people. And they had just done like a run in the streets, and they had included men who were hobos and just homeless people, and they were there too. And I had been asked to teach them A Course in Miracles and Introdanza class, which means movement and music, and there's contact as well. Right, so I said, yeah, I'll come along. So here I am, I teach my the regular class, and then I'm ready to do the movement class, which entails initially just holding hands with people who are in a wheelchair and da-da-da, and just making a very gentle movement around the room. And then in that initial movement, my friend says, I'm going to stick with the music, you go ahead. I said, come on, it was like 60 people. And, I need the movement help. And he said, no, you can do it. Okay, fine, so I did. And I went past the men, it was all men. And I went past them, and I walked in front of each one of them, at this distance, for example. And then I had this smell. And the smell was like lavender, like men's shaving lotion, lavender. And everybody smelled the same, so I thought, oh, they're so cute. They knew I was coming, everybody shared a lavender cologne. I thought that's what I thought. And I felt grateful because it was beautiful. At the end of the class, we go home, and I asked the teacher, how come you left me by myself there? It would have been easier, if I had you there helping me with the group. And he said, I just couldn't stand the smell. It was very scary. And I thought, the lavender? Scary. And he said, what lavender? Yeah. The stench of oldness, of homelessness. It scares me. And I thought, what was he smelling? What was I smelling? Was the smell true? Or was the smell a reflection of the love in my heart and the fear in his? Wow. That was a big lesson for me. So I'm never deceived by the smell. Never. I relinquish good and bad, good smells and bad smells. Just relinquish it over to the Holy Spirit. Let me smell the Holy Child of God, whatever way that's meant to happen. And then this was a big one for me. I know it's touched you. You got it. I just share that with you. And then after we discover what's happening with this one, then what about this one? Oh, that's nice. How many times have we judged another for what they were feeding us or not? How many times have we said, oh, got to take a cooking class, man. Or, wow, you're amazing.
Well, you're European, we don't know about that.
So I discovered, I think this was just a journey of honest relinquishment of judgment. And the Holy Spirit showed me that I didn't have to be vigilant only about what I thought, but also how apparently the body was telling me things. But was the body telling me things? Not possible. Can the body, that's neutral, tell me anything? Not really. It's still a hidden thought, very hidden judgment that comes up through the senses. So what does that mean for me? It means that every single aspect of myself can be used purposefully for the relinquishment of the obstacles to my spiritual awareness. So my spiritual awareness has nothing to do with my body awareness. The body awareness, for me, is a hindrance. So I kept working on this one, and I saw how, oh, this Coke is hot. Where's the ice? And I could feel the inner peace being lost just because the Coke was hot. So I'm just sharing this with you to leave this with you, because I know you're getting it, and it's just going to trigger a little bit more your vigilance against whatever is in the way of your awareness of your own self. And then we come to the touch, which would be the fifth sense. How many times have we judged a brother for his or her caress or the absence of it or the way it was being done. Oh, well, I had a partner, a big guy from England, really big, you know. And every time he touched me, I went, oh, gentle, please. And he says, this is gentle. And I said, oh my gosh, you're bruising my arm, you know. It's like, such a passion. And I could feel a judgment coming up. And I'm saying, oh, dear God, I surrender this. I can use this purposefully, this loving man by my side. To me, he doesn't seem gentle. Now, is that a keeper? Just, you know, because if you think, oh, he's not gentle, I prefer gentleness, I'm so spiritual. I prefer the holy child of God who is perfect, not the gentle or the ungentle. If it pertains to the body and you're justifying a judgment, then you've lost it. And we lose it until we don't. And we lose it again until we choose not to lose it. We choose to observe deeply and thoroughly how the ego is using this dream of body against our brother and our joining, or to bring us together, transcending all of our judgments. And for me, this reading, and this was Reverend Kylie that sent me an email and asked me, you got some readings about what you're going to be talking about. And I love this paragraph. I will read it again. The second paragraph, it says, watch your mind carefully for any beliefs that hinder its accomplishment and step away from them. Judge how well you've done this by your own feelings. So, am I feeling at peace? Or am I feeling any kind of discomfort from the way I've judged my brother or sister? And it says, judge this, how well you've done this by your own feelings. For this is the one right use of judgment. So, judging is wrong. Is it? Not if you use it to observe. For me, this judgment then becomes discernment. It's a guided judgment. It's a judgment that does not attack, but is used as an inner thermometer to measure up my hidden thoughts. Because I might be thinking, oh, so-and-so doesn't look interested, for example. But then, if I feel disturbed, then there's something I need to let go. I need to surrender and relinquish. Honestly, it has nothing to do with the other person. It's all about me, my thoughts, my judgments, the way I feel. And then it says, like any other defense, judgment can be used to attack or to protect. Then the first time I read this, to attack or to protect, and Jesus says, I only use judgment to protect you. And I thought, oh, I want that kind of judgment. Jesus' judgment that says, you are the Holy One. You are the Eternal. You are God's holy child. And there's nothing imperfect about you or me. This is a judgment. It's the judgment of love upon us all. This is the judgment that I am committed to having in my own heart. I can't say this is true for me 100% because I'm still vigilant. And there's a chapter in the course, a subchapter called From Vigilance to Peace. And in my experience as a teacher and student of the course, I've had moments in my life, where I've had to be very vigilant because I was constantly in judgmental mood and my heart seemed to jump all over the place and oh, what's going on? It's not like that anymore. But I still see a little pop very obviously in my face saying, oh, you're not feeling too good about this, or you're feeling too good about this. So it's either way. Is it too good or I'm not feeling too good? So you gotta call upon rightful judgment, the discernment of the Holy Spirit, so we can all be guided and accept that our humanity needs to be relinquished. This is how I feel. I am all for relinquishing my humanity as I know it, so that in this experience I can walk the world and know that I am not of the world. I'm just here to be a highly calibered, can you say, instrument for the voice of Jesus to speak through me to human ears. So this is where I am now. And I thank you so much for inviting me here.